Hi, I want to tell you about a bus trip I was on. Coming home from a holiday. It was an overnight bus trip, and I had one of those tickets that tells you where to sit on the bus. And I got on the bus and found my seat, made myself comfortable, and watched the rest of the people come into the bus. And there was this one guy, it was a really huge guy, and I'm sort of praying to God this guy isn't going to sit next to me, because I just couldn't take having to share a bus ride with somebody as wide as him. But anyway, while I'm having my anxiety attack, this guy passes me, and this beautiful young woman sits next to me with a baby on her lap. And she's making herself comfortable, and she sends me this really beautiful smile. And it had been a pretty boring holiday until then, so I was pretty keen on having some nice company on the way home. So the bus took off, and we just sort of chatted about what a nice place this town was where we'd been. And we settled in, didn't say very much. And I just looked at the scenery. We went through some really amazing scenery, huge trees with yellow and purple leaves, and mountains in the back, shimmering orange and blue. It was really beautiful. Anyway, after about an hour, her baby starts crying. And so she's trying to comfort the baby, and it just wasn't working for her. After about an hour of hearing this crying, the people around the bus were sort of staring at her, and not very pleased at all, because they were hoping to get a good night's sleep on the way. Anyway, so she finally comforts the baby, and the baby falls asleep. And then this woman, this beautiful woman, falls asleep on my shoulder. And I'm thinking, wow, I'm really having a great day today. Beautiful women don't usually rest their heads up against my shoulder. So that happened for a while, and then the baby starts crying again. I thought, oh no, don't start crying again. I'm enjoying this woman leaning up against me. But anyway, the baby did cry again, and it cried like for 3 hours, and she's sort of not exactly panicking, but she's actually taking it in good stride. But she can't get this baby to shut up, and everybody on the bus is not keeping it a secret that this is really annoying to them. I don't know if that's ever happened to you. It can be really annoying if you have a baby crying all the way on your trip on the bus. Anyway, she finally gets the baby to be quiet. And the next thing I know, I must have fallen asleep as well, and so must she, because I woke up and it was light again, and she'd been sleeping, sort of resting her head up against my shoulder, and I sort of rested my head on her head, and that was really very nice. Anyway, we weren't awake for very long before the bus turned into the bus depot, to the bus station, and it was time to get off. So while we're getting off the bus, I'm sort of thinking, wow, it'd be really nice to meet this woman again. And I was sort of thinking, well, she's got a 12-month-old baby, maybe she's married, and it wouldn't really be right to ask her for her phone number. But anyway, we got off the bus, and as soon as we got off the bus, I found my stuff, which is just a carry bag on a trolley, and she was talking to some people that she'd probably met on her holidays. So I just sort of walked away, dragged my trolley, and decided to walk home, because I don't live very far from the bus station. And I just thought, well, it was nice while it lasted. But while I'm walking home, suddenly she's next to me. She's pushing a pram and dragging her own trolley bag, and I thought, okay, she must live in the neighbourhood, she must live near where I live. And I figured that if she lived closer to the bus station than I did, then maybe I'd find out where she lives. But that's not how it turned out. We got to my place first, and I said goodbye to her, and I handed her her trolley that I'd been dragging for her so that she could push the pram. And I figured, well, you know, there's not very much I could do, so I just went up my pathway and went to my front door. I was rummaging through my pants pockets trying to find my key, and I couldn't find my key. And suddenly she's walking up to me with pushing the pram and dragging this trolley. And I'm thinking, okay, maybe she's got a card, so maybe she's going to give me her phone number, you know, that would be really great. So she's rummaging through her bag, which was a really good sign, I thought. But she doesn't give me a card. She takes out a bunch of keys from her bag, and she selects one of the keys and puts it in the keyhole in my front door. And then, as she's turning the key, she turns around and looks at me and says, "We'd better call the doctor tomorrow. I think those pills he gave you are a bit strong."